Hello, this lesson is on subject-verb agreement and it is the third episode on the series of 10 steps to grammar success, just for those people who want to kind of improve their accuracy in their writing and their speaking of the English language. So what is subject-verb agreement? First of all, we need to know what a verb is, and that's a doing word. So it's anything that you can physically do, then it's going to be a verb. And we classify this as a word class. So every single word, it falls into a category of nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. And verbs are the words that represent doing words. So we've got words like run, walk, think, read, and learn. So it's anything that talks about an action like that. The subject is a thing or person that you're talking about that is carrying out the verb. Okay, so you could say the person ran. The car park, for example, I love talking about car parks, but the car park is empty. But they've got a unique relationship between the subject and the verb, and it's that this agreement needs to be there. If the verb is singular, then the subject has to be too. Now, if you're a little bit unsure about singular and plural, then I recommend you kind of have a look back at the previous episode, episode 2, which is on plurals, and this will hopefully make it a little bit clearer. But singular is one subject in this case, and then plural is more than one subject. So car park would be one subject, car parks would be several, well, more than one. Okay, so these are the rules. So the first rule is if a noun, which tends to be the subject, and a noun is the name of a thing, person, place, or thing. If it is singular, then you have to add an S to the verb. So the dog barks loudly. So the verb there is bark, and we're going to add that S there, just to kind of make them in agreement. Okay, so rule 2, if the noun is plural, then the verb has no S at the end. Now, you'll find that a lot of the times when you're first learning grammar, you need to kind of understand the rule, and then the more confident you get with your English, the more it becomes like an instinct and stuff like that. So I tend to kind of only give the rules when you need it. You know, if you feel the need to have it, then if it helps you, then that's great. So in this case, it'll be the dogs bark loudly. So more than one dog is barking loudly. But we can have a look at this in more depth in a second. So here's some examples. So the subject is car park, and car park is one. So our first example, the car park in town is empty. So car park and then is are the two words we want to focus on here. So car park is the subject, and it's a singular subject, which means that we need a singular verb there. Okay, we call this a verb, and it's a helping verb that just kind of helps the sentence make sense, and it helps secure that relationship. So it's a verb, and it too is singular. So the next one, the car parks in town are empty. So the subject here is car parks. It's plural because it's got the S on the end, and then we have the verb, and it's a plural verb, just to make sure these two are both in agreement and it makes sense. As you're growing confidence in your English, you'll develop an instinct, like you'll have an ear for it, and it won't sound right to you if someone says the car parks is empty. Now, if for a native English speaker such as myself, we hear that and it doesn't sound right immediately, but if you haven't yet developed that instinct, it's always quite nice to kind of have a look at these rules and try and have a think and try and have a practice with these. Okay, so I've got some downloads just to kind of help you practice this, which I'll leave in the video description. You can click on and download. So I've included both rules there for your guidance, and there's a mini task for you there to complete. But if you want, feel free to play through this video and have a go completing the task while you're doing it. I've included the answers as well. There's also a table of singular and plural verbs that should be a big help. I found this to be one of the more useful things when doing my research on it, because you start to see, you know, how the verbs change and stuff, and it's quite useful. Also, feel free to make your own example for the last one. So I've got the singular version of the verb and then the plural version of the verb, and I've written my own example. So feel free to kind of write your own examples in the comments. I've left the last one blank, but you can make an example out of any of them. I'd just love to see any of that in the comments. That'd be brilliant. Okay, finally, if you could like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. It's really good to see quite a few people that are joined so far. I'm just going to hopefully continue to make stuff that's helpful. If anybody's got anything they particularly want any help with, or would think that people would benefit from seeing, please let me know, and I'll try and help. Okay, thanks a lot, guys.